Become a general of mighty armies at the Kings of War Hub. Take command of elves, dwarves and orcs in this game of masked fantasy combat on beastsofwar.com. Humanity has been driven from Earth, but now it's time to take it back. Join the Reconquest and fight the Scourge on the Drop Zone Commander Hub at beastsofwar.com.
Hi guys, so myself and Carmen are back. Let's have a look at more Robotech. What have you brought for me today?
All right, these are they're the Battlepod reinforcement boxes. So regular Regult pods and the artillery pods. So I don't know. Do you just want to open them up and we'll start talking about them once you do?
Crack them open because they are a really cool little vehicle. I'll actually also throw the box under the close camera so you can get an idea for the shape of these guys before we get started. So these are your specialist pods, yeah?
Yeah, those are the specialist ones.
So some artillery and what is this? Some kind of laser weapon?
No, these are light artillery. So 24 light missiles, and these are heavy artillery. So 4 heavy missiles.
I see.
But it actually comes with. There's one more type in there too. There's one with a double set of heavy artillery cannons that aren't shown on the. But they're in there. They're on the sprues.
Well, we'll have a look at those.
And then there's the regular ones.
The regular ones, and these guys, I assume, just
they're standard. They're standard battle pods that come in the main.
What are they armed with?
Just particle beam cannons. So that's what these tall.
I see. So basically, zappy lasers everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll start off with how many sprues do we get that are identical? Or are they? They're all identical. So you'll build 4 out of the box, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. So we only need to show the one. So under the close camera, we have first up one of the legs.
Yep.
I assume these are the 2 big cannons you were talking about?
So on this sprue, right?
So if we slip that one under close camera.
I'm just trying to find the cannons. So these are the standard particle beam cannons.
Yep. So if we slip that one in, these 2 little bits here.
Yeah, these ones here and here, and there's one there, and there's one over here.
Yeah.
For them, there's 2 more somewhere else on the sprue. Yeah. For the 3 units, those are the standard particle beam cannons. This one here also has standard particle beam cannons, but then you can mount on top of it heavy particle beam cannons, which have twice the damage, twice the range, etc., etc.
So the big guns.
Yeah, they're more accurate. They have a bunch of special abilities.
And then I assume above this, these will be your light missile pods.
Yeah,
which go together in 2 halves.
Yep.
And then you have the heavy ones across from it.
Yeah, which also go together in 2 halves.
So what's the difference with these? More shots weaker, less shots heavier?
Yeah, more shots weaker. You can fire a volley of them. So when you fire a volley of something, if there's units close together, the missiles can break off and attack multiple guys at the same time.
So basically if there's a ton of light infantry or lighter stuff sitting about, you can just go, okay, I think I can divide my fire and kill everything here.
Yeah. And it also means that there's more crap to shoot down, and there's more missiles there. So because you actually with missiles you as you fire them off, you have to mark them off. So you have more of them to mark off.
Ammo countdowns in this?
Yeah, you have to count down just for missiles, but you actually have to count down the ammo, and so there's a lot more of them because with the heavy ones you literally have 4 missiles.
Oh.
So they're really good missiles, but you got 4 of them.
Yeah, it gives them more value because you can't just keep going, just fire them away. You're sort of looking at it going, okay, I could fire at that, but I don't really want to. I think I want these for that. Yeah. So I think these guys are going to pull away. It sort of helps you dictate your tactics a little more if you're clever, or like me, you just fire everything and react to everything.
The other big difference is that heavy missiles are blast weapons.
Yeah.
So they're like most games, they're a template, and if it scatters, it can hit other things and all the jazz that goes with that.
Yeah.
And they can hit multiple things, where the light ones aren't. So they each have their uses, and it's if you're getting a support squadron of artillery pods, it's usually nice to mix them up.
Yeah.
The only time I personally don't mix them up is I'm bringing the heavy particle beam cannons. I try to stick with just particle beams, and then those are my shock force, right? So I'll put those in a squad that's going to be a main rushing one, and I just throw it straight into your teeth because they have enough power to just punch
on through.
Yeah.
No, that sounds like a good plan, because missiles, you always imagine, right, they're going to sit back, they're going to wait for the target, but the particle beams you're saying are just more of I'm going to come at you, you must deal with me or die.
Yeah, exactly. It's just basically a different way to use them. And then again in this box, you have all your cards for it. So you have both the support squadron, like smaller cards, the cards for them themselves. Yeah, and then unit cards. You can open them up.
I'm going to open this up.
And as well as all the transfer sheets.
Yeah, I like the fact that we're getting stat cards and transfer sheets in these, because there are some companies that don't do them, which can be a little annoying. So I assume...
So let me make sense of this for you.
Yep.
These are the unit cards. So you have different things. You have squadrons. Okay, so a squadron, when you field it,
which is this.
That's the kind of the standard size of a unit, okay? Then you have squads, which you can add to squadrons to increase their numbers. So once you've bought this unit, you can then buy this and add it to that unit to beef up the size of the unit.
Right. So it actually
you can add
a really quick, easy visual aid to what's in my units.
Yeah,
so
and you
just
can
pick up the card section.
Yeah, and you can add up to 2 units to it. So you could beef up with 2.
Yeah. So all of a sudden you've added the 2 different types here. What are these 2 types? I can't read upside down.
Yeah, this is another heavy one and a particle beam that I put down there. But I mean, you also could do with this one here. So this is, let me open this one.
Yeah, so this is from your standard Battlepod box.
Yeah, from the standard Battlepod one. So say this was a Zentraedi attack squadron, but you could then add, say you wanted to add one of those to it.
All right.
Or you could add, a particle beam to it. Or better yet, you could do what I like doing, which is adding 2 particle beams to it and using it to run down someone's face.
Right, so then the regular guys, yes, they can do damage, but they're just there to hide those.
They're the meat shield. They're because you can fire through your own guys. So you keep them and your officer as the big gun, and you put them in front, and you just run them at the other guy.
Yeah.
And you have them do all the shooting and create all the damage.
Yeah.
And the other battle pods are just there to soak the hits and die.
Yeah, but even then, the battle pods themselves, I assume, have a weapon that can.
Yeah, they have a weapon.
If you get lucky and they get there.
Well, collectively, the battle pods can do a lot of damage, but these guys can do a lot of damage just by themselves.
Yeah.
There's also a rule for the Zentraedi Armada, which we can talk about that stuff later. But but quickly, it's that when regular battle pods, the standard ones die, they get to come back. So you get to bring them back on the board in the next turn. And that happens over and over and over as long as the officer's still alive. Yeah. So the officer and any special units like this, you tend to try to keep them alive, and while you're disposing of battle pods and letting the enemy shoot those.
Yeah, no, that's actually really cool, because it gives you that sort of feeling. Like you said, we unboxed the 2-player starter set for this. It gives you that feeling of the faceless horde is just continuing to ramp up and roll out. So there's more of these clone warriors coming out and these things.
Yeah, and that so it makes these valuable because these cannot come back. Yeah. If you lose them, that's it, they're gone, because they're specialized units. Yeah. So you always want to protect them, and you keep the regular battle pods as your meat shield, and you let those die while these you try to hang on to at all costs. You spread hits out amongst the other guys, trying to let them take the hits instead of them. Yeah,
well, I mean, like it offers up some really interesting tactics, because do I push them forward, or am I pushing forward too far here? You know? So you're sort of trying to, be aggressive because they need to do the damage because they're a specialist, but as they start to whittle down, do you start to draw them back so that more battle pods can come up to actually replace the meat shield?
Exactly. And then the last type of card in here is our stat cards with, what the stats are for the individual unit.
So, well, let's quickly run the stat cards. So what are the 4 stats I'm looking at here?
Okay, so you have your speed.
So I assume that's this number 4.
Yeah, the first one.
Then...
let me make sure. I'm going to look in the book because I'm now suddenly unsure.
It's been a very long weekend. Carmen's actually across for the Drop Zone Commander weekend.
Yeah, and I've been playing like crazy.
And we decided, you know what? Brilliant plan. Let's sit down and film these while we have one of the masterminds behind the game here. Yeah. So we've sat down. It's currently Sunday afternoon. You'll probably have heard a couple of shouts in the background as the show has been closing and wrapping up. But are we ready?
Yeah. Okay. And on the cards, they replace the words with the little symbols, and sometimes it's hard for me to remember what the symbols are. Yeah. But anyway, the first one is your speed.
So that's the number 4.
Second one's piloting, then gunnery, then your defense value.
And 5. So...
That's basically it. There's 4 stats for each guy, so it's pretty easy.
See, it keeps it really light, because you see some games where it's just a huge stat. Yeah. I mean, like, yes, once you understand how to read it, it's fine. But for something that you just... Say you have a mate that you want to get into wargaming, this seems like a great thing because it's just, okay, you have to think of 4 things of what it can do, and off you go. And with all the extra shenanigans you could do with your actual unit building, that's where a lot of your tactical depth is going to really start to come in and show up in this game, I think.
Yeah.
Of course, this is me never having played it before.
And then on the back, if I can get out of the camera, there's the weapon stats, and then there's only 2 stats, and that's range and damage.
And damage.
That's it.
Awesome.
They might have some special abilities. For instance, the one I'm holding here has the long range missiles.
Yeah.
I put those on it. I don't think you can read that, but if you can, it has.
So for the long range missiles, it's dual 31 3mm medium range missile launchers, ammo 4, missile volley 6.
Ammo 4 means it has 4 pieces of ammo.
Yeah.
Blast means it uses the blast template. Missile means it's a missile weapon because that has its own rules associated with it.
There's countermeasures and stuff in the game.
And then volley X means for every one you fire, it gets that volley rating. And any volley rating, if it was the volley 6 one, means that there are 6 missiles in the volley.
Right.
So if it has X, it just means you get to build the volley yourself. If it has a volley rating, it's that volley.
Okay.
But so each one of these have 4 shots, but it's just how many. So for instance, this one here has a total of 24 missiles. Because if you go 6 times 4 is 24.
Yeah.
And the other one has 4 because it's 4 times X. So it's 4 missiles.
For each one you fire, it is just this one big honking great missile that's coming to blow you to smithereens.
So I mean, it's super simple. Like anybody can figure it out. But it was done that way because this game, unlike most, it's not really marketed to primarily miniature gamers. Unlike most miniature games, it's primarily marketed to anime enthusiasts and to role players who have played the RPG. So it's just simple.
It's this nice little bridge game.
Yeah, it's a bridge game. So it was meant to be simple.
It's bringing people from those worlds into the miniatures world and allowing people to actually play out the mass battles that they've imagined or seen on the TV, on their tabletop. Yeah,
there's actually rules in here for playing your RPG character in this game.
Oh.
There's
I like. Yeah. I love crossovers between games like that because if you're able to bring your RPG character in, you suddenly feel like it's not just a bunch of miniatures on the table. It's my guy. Yeah. I want him to do well. No. Why is he about to die? Don't you die.
Yeah.
It's things like that that really get you excited about games.
Yeah, there's also campaign rules for building your own campaign and expanding it, and how to get experience for those characters during the campaign, and how to have that experience cross over back to your RPG. And,
So it's 2 fully compatible games that sort of interlock and merge together.
Yeah,
brilliant.
To the point of the stats for all the units in here are actually derived from the RPG stats because the RPG came first in this case. Other game systems, the miniatures came first and the RPG second. Yeah. In this case, the RPG was first. So all the stats were derived from the RPG.
Awesome.
So if you take, for instance, any of you people who play the RPG, you can take the MDC of a weapon, or excuse me, the MDC of the vehicle in there, divide it by, I gotta remember now, divided by 25, and that will be the MDC in here. If you take the maximum damage in the other game, divide it by 20, so that makes it more killy, that'll be the damage in here. Because it actually makes it boost up a little bit when you divide by different numbers.
It's very simple mathematics to go, boom, I have this here, I want it here, there we go, off we go.
Yeah, that was what we did when we did the translation.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, guys, that is a quick look at the battle pods for Robotech. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you're getting excited about this game, because the more I'm seeing of it, the more I'm actually wanting to play it here. Carmen, thank you for coming again.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure having you. Guys, myself and Carmen will move on, and we'll see you again another time, perhaps.
Progress comes to a world of magic as science and the arcane combine to make marvels. Meet steampunk inventors and orc mystics at the Volsung Hub on beastsofwar.com. In a world controlled by massive corporations, a steady aim and split-second decisions are needed for your megacon to complete its goals. Begin your missions at the Mercs Hub on beastsofwar.com.